that bit came in and I was like, oh, okay, I think this song means more than just this. And I was like, this is a bit like more of a sarcastic, this is a bit more like, hey, I've got this. You can't tell people what to do anymore. Like, the world can't dictate whether someone is sad or happy, or, you know, like, people get to own their feelings kind of thing. I feel really proud of the coast to be so passionate, and we have so much talent, we should foster it, and also the community wants something to look forward to as well, and I think it's just really exciting.
We are joined today with Central Coast independent artist Gabilóu Garnet. Gabilóu, or Gigi, welcome to Homebrewed. How is your morning?
Hello. It is amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to do my first podcast with the iconic Homebrewed.
First pod. We're honoured. We're honoured to have you on.
Yes.
I hope this is everything you've ever imagined a first podcast would be.
It definitely is. It feels really pro. It feels really, really cool.
That's they're both first for us because we don't often feel pro. We're usually managing some kind of technical difficulty or rigging up some kind of contraption to make cameras and microphones work. But we're doing all right. But we're obviously not here to talk about our setups as much as we would like to. Maybe that's another episode. We are here to talk about you. We've known you for a few years now, I would say, in and around the Central Coast music traps, and you've been making some fantastic pop music. The latest release of which was Smile, which dropped a month ago, nearly today, a month and 1 day ago today. So congratulations on that release. I really enjoy that, how you're producing your music and how it's all coming out. So we'll get to that. But first, as an introduction, let's talk about you, because you are a multifaceted creative. And we're super interested in how you have got to where you are now, kind of your creative journey to now, and also, you know, where you intend to go with it, because there's a lot of places that you could go with it.
Yeah, definitely. I've always kind of like been a creative person. I started piano and singing lessons as like a 3-year-old. My mum was convinced that I was going to be a star because I sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star amazingly, according to her, as biased parents are. So kind of started that, and I've always been like in dancing and drama throughout school, throughout HSE as well. I did music, but then I kind of like stopped to do uni, which was something completely different, and then realised that like I'm missing something that like makes my spirit and my energy feel good, and it was music. So I got back into it in 2022, and I had never written a song before that. Somehow just never got to it, and then when I came back into it, I guess refreshed with like new life experience, new mind, new vibes. I like wrote songs and I was like, oh, I think this is what I want to do. So
the music writing was almost calling you in a way.
Yeah.
Like you said, I also, now that I reflect back on it, like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I imagine doing the whole, you know, actions that you do while you're singing as well. That probably is a pretty good entry point for a lot of musicians, like singing those little nursery rhymes when they're a kid. It's probably an easy, because I've often thought, you know, people who are talented, how do you know you have a talent? And it probably just comes from that sort of thing, right? You're singing nursery rhymes and your parents are going, oh, she's pretty good. Maybe we should encourage her to pursue this. And that's obviously why I never got that sort of encouragement from my parents, because I've gone, he's crap. Let's not push him down that route.
No. I think it's just also really good for kids to be creative and explore, like, even if, you know, they're not like, oh, I'm amazing or anything. It's just like, it doesn't matter. It's just great to explore creative side and to see where it goes anyways.
And to your point, you know, that's what drew you back into it as well. It wasn't necessarily, you know, from your perspective, it wasn't I'm good at this and I think I'm the best and I'm going to pursue and become a global pop superstar. It was, no, the actual creative process is something that I feel like I'm missing by, you know, going to uni, which, by the way, you're studying a Master's of Psychology as well. So, like, Also, I think you're a
Yes.
pretty good authority to speak on the mindset when it comes to, reading books and writing essays compared to writing lyrics and music as well.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Like a research paper versus a 3-minute song. Yeah.
Clearly reflective of a couple of different types of outlets too. Have you found the deeper you've delved into how minds and emotions function, has that helped with expression in music or understanding what you'd like to express and conveying those emotions that you're feeling into a creative work?
100%. I don't think I would be where I am today if I hadn't gone to uni and studied and been interested in all of that, because I think studying really helped me with self-discovery as well, and like understanding introspectively and just kind of bringing perspective to my own mind and things. And to do that, I think helps with songwriting, because you can express yourself a bit clearer, or you can kind of perspective take and see where someone else might look into this world, or the old you might look into this world, or the new you might look into it differently, kind of thing.
And is that a perspective? Are you often writing music or kind of composing and considering music from the perspective of you in different tenses or other people entirely? Are you writing across that spectrum?
Yeah, definitely. I think that when it starts, so like a lot of the time when I started 3 years ago, it was like I was feeling overwhelmed with something, or like I was processing emotions like therapeutically and whatever. And I was like, oh, this is some stuff that I need to work out in my head and get out. And then I would kind of, do that from that perspective of what I was feeling. And then I'd go back and be like, oh, okay, so what if someone else was feeling this way? How could I shape it a bit more to suit someone else? Or does that actually suit me now? Or that kind of thing. It's like got multiple perspectives in it all the time, but it definitely starts from like a feeling or an idea of this is a really cool thing that I'd like to get myself to think about.
So the whole psychology interest of it, that was obviously pre-deciding that you wanted to become a musician. So what was it that led you down that path initially?
Well, I always wanted to be a musician growing up. I always wanted to make music, perform music, but I didn't know how. I wasn't in a musical family. I didn't really have the resources to teach me and understand those things. And I guess growing up as well, culturally diverse and undiagnosed neurodivergent at the time, I was just really looking for answers to understand my world, to understand other people's world, to just figure out what is the world about. Like I didn't know. And so I was like, psychology seems like a good idea. But I didn't get into psychology first off. I got an early entry into criminology. So I figured I would start there and then I transferred into psychology and didn't look back, I guess.
It's a very relatable feeling though, I suppose, like not necessarily, understanding the world, but particularly as you said, there are neurodivergent, diagnosis for yourself as well. So it's also, not only is it just complicated enough being a human, but when you add different elements on top of it, it is very easy to feel like your experiences are different. So you're trying to find out why or why not by looking, through psychology, which is a great practice for that. And then as we've now just discussed on the benefit to it is you can sort of analyze your songwriting a bit more. You can tap into your feelings a bit more. Because I think, not that I would be a great musician, I don't think anyway, but if I were to be a songwriter, tapping into my emotions and actually understanding what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling, or what this action made me feel, and then to actually translate it on paper and make it into a song. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have that skill at all. Obviously, all skills can be honed in and practiced upon, and I haven't begun that journey. But I imagine for you doing the psychology degree, it just elevates that skill for you.
Yeah, I think it taught me that skill. Definitely. And then also therapy. Like, therapy teaches those skills as well. Because I think unless you kind of have the environment that fosters good emotional understanding and interoception and all that stuff, like you kind of just don't know. Like, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know what your feelings mean, or like how they present in your behavior and your body, and your thoughts and your biases and things like that, you wouldn't know. So doing psychology really helps me with that, and to question even like self-talk. Like, a lot of musicians, I think, are really perfectionistic and probably hold themselves to high standards, and can often, be negative to themselves. And I think that being able to question where they're coming from, those thoughts, is really important, like for your mental health, and then also to put it into your art.
Yeah, it's not even, well, not just the assistance that it gives you in terms of producing cool creations and music in the first place, but it's also how you're navigating the industry, how you're navigating yourself, how you are going along that journey as well, which is quite a cool little side of it that maybe we wouldn't consider initially. So a lot of benefits there. You mentioned earlier you come from a culturally diverse background. It's South American background. Were you born in Australia?
I was born in Australia. I have lived in South America though, and I went to school and
how was that?
Yeah, had a life there for a year.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very very grounding. Yeah, I think a lot of culturally diverse people, especially maybe first gen kids. So like my mum came over to Australia with her parents, so I'm like the first one to be born in Australia. Often, like if they go back to the country their parents were born in, like feel something like really strong to that, and yeah, it just feels really grounding and calming. I think a really different life, a lot of different food and energy, but yeah, it's very beautiful.
It's lovely. I was in South America for a couple of months at the start of this year and absolutely loved it. But I'm very interested in how that culture that your family comes from, that you come from, is very much a part of you, especially having gone back and lived over there. How does that inform, how you practice your art and your creativity?
I think that music, we usually make a joke saying like music is in our blood, because as soon as like a Latin beat comes on, or any beat really, like we just got to move, and you've got to feel the energy. And I think that having that kind of, I guess, connection to Latin music as well just makes me want to have music that makes you feel something. So like want to write music that makes me feel something, and also have music that makes other people feel something. So I guess that's also why like I write music from a feeling. I don't want it to be like stale and not have any sort of connection to my heart, or yeah,
because I imagine as well, like writing from a feeling, it's obviously at worst case scenario you're connecting to the song, right, as opposed to it being, I know, a metaphorical song about, a story-driven thing, which, could also have obviously feelings and emotions connected to it. But if you're writing a song about your own experiences and your own feelings and thoughts, then when you're performing that song or you're revisiting that song, there's that obvious connection to it. And I think that in itself is a real, superpower in a sense of music and what it can do and how it can move people. And the benefit is then if I or someone listening has a similar experience to or feelings to how you're connecting to the song, and that moves other people as well. But worst case scenario, you're writing it for yourself and you can move and enjoy it. Similar to we joke about this podcast is just for us because we ramble and joke, and as long as we enjoy it, that's all that matters. But at the same time, it's not a bad approach to take either, because if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're connecting with what you're doing, then it's going to help other people connect to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's never a waste of time to help yourself process something or just do something to, make your life a bit brighter.
And I was interested as well in the kind of drama background, the actor side as well. Is that something you're actively pursuing at the moment? Still kind of roles in film or television or anything of that nature?
Yes, I'm actively pursuing it. Doesn't mean that I am actively filming in any television or film right now. But like I just said before, like the journey and doing something for yourself is always good, even if, there's no outcome, or, you're not getting to that goal you really want. It doesn't really matter, because like I'm really enjoying the journey. But yeah, I audition a lot, and I have done a few commercial type things in like stills and stuff. I did a lot of like modeling when I was younger, and then also had the break around the same time as music. So getting back into it to be like a bit more serious in my craft, I guess. Like practicing and seeing, just pushing myself and seeing how, seeing how different I can go with things. Yeah.
Tell us about the auditioning experience, because in a way, writing your music can also be, if you change your lens, seen as an audition to either for a label or to try and grow a fan base or to connect with people. In a way, it can also be shown as an audition, but more often, as we said, it's, you know, for yourself, whether it's therapeutic or whether it's just connection, etc. So tell us about the film and TV audition process. How do you connect it to music at all, or is it in your mind separate worlds despite both being creative industries?
That's a really good question. They're probably on the same wavelength, I guess, because you're using like a rhythm to try and, because you got to memorize lines all the time. Like you don't really want to do an audition off book, because then you're not convincing them that you're good enough to land the role. But when I read lines, for example, I think I do kind of make it a song in my head as I'm like doing it, and then when I read it out loud, there's like a pattern of some sort. So I think it does have some musical connection. But yeah, I hadn't thought about that before, so thanks for that.
That's okay. Do you bring it back to the feelings that you're talking about when you're writing music? Do you bring your characters that you're trying to audition for? Do you try and connect to a real feeling that you have to bring that character more to life?
Definitely. There was, so like, for example, there was one that was kind of like a cute rom-com thing, and like you kind of just go back into that young feeling of young love, which you'd do if you're writing a song as well. So just like pretending that you're in that moment that you maybe have a memory for, or sometimes you can get crazy with it where like there's a just trying to think of my words because I can't exactly say the details, but
there might be an NDA.
Yes. There's actually a funny story I'll come back to about that. So like sometimes there's like a really crazy character who's not the way you would typically behave, or at least I wouldn't typically behave in real life. So you can get really silly with it, and with that kind of thing, like I like to watch videos of actors and performances that I think are really strong and suit that, and I'll just really like, yes, that's great, and copy, and then like feel how that feels, and then apply it to the role. But yeah, the other story was I did an audition that had an NDA, and it's, I don't know if you guys know Bad Bunny.
Yes.
Yeah. It was for Bad Bunny. So at the start of his concert, there was like a video of some Aussie people speaking in Spanish, but it was like one of his songs, and so like the audition was a Spanish speaker to do the song, and yeah, you weren't allowed to say anything about it. But then it came out, and I was like, I had no idea that was what it was going to be. They just said it was for a Bad Bunny video, and it was going to be really cool. And I was just like,
So did you make that video?
No, I didn't, but I auditioned for it. So
I was going to say that sounds like the perfect melding of like everything that you like, the South American and Spanish speaking background, the music, the acting. It sounds like it would have been perfect.
It would have been so cool. But I still think it's just so fun that I got to audition for that. And that it was just funny that the audition itself had an NDA and they didn't even give you that many details about it. And then when I saw what it was, because I was at the concert, I was like, oh, that's what it was. Oh my God. That's so cool.
I assume the NDA that was only until that song was released. We're clear to be airing this out. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I don't want we're not going to get sued.
Yeah. It's clear now. So.
That is cool. That's funny that they were so light on details even for those auditioning for it. It's very, very funny.
Yeah.
let's chat about Smile. It is your latest release, as mentioned, dropped a month and a day ago today, or date of recording. It's your first release of 2026, this one. So tell us a little bit about this track. It's very bright. It's got this comfort to it, is a kind of the emotion that I felt with it. I love the synth production in the background. It's really, really cool song. So tell us a little bit about how that track came about, and also interested in the kind of direction you have gone, particularly in terms of your production as well, because I think it's quite unique.
Yeah, thank you. I really like how you described that. That feels nice and warm, that it's comforting. It does. Smile is a lot different to my other stuff, which I'm very excited about. I think, like I mentioned earlier, I hadn't written songs before. So like Think It's Strange was like the first song I ever wrote. And then Deep Dive was the second. And then there were a couple in between that that have never seen the light of day. But it has been changing and growing, and I think Smile is a good is a good kind of tunnel into where I'm going to be going. Like, I think it's like, oh, so this is kind of where the sound is going. This is what it's going to be like. Sorry, can you remind me of the rest of that question?
Yeah, sorry, I loaded up with a couple of questions as well. So maybe if we start with the context of the song itself. So I think on one of your socials posts, there's almost a double meaning there of being told to smile or being told to look at, happy and smile when you don't feel that way. So what's the kind of emotional lead or the inspiration behind it in the first place?
I think when I wrote it, it was a pretty sad, almost angry ballad, just getting through emotions and things, and trying to write in a different way as well. So like I was trying to use metaphors a bit more than just like, I feel like this and, I think this. So the lead there was kind of like, oh, this is really hard. Like, it's really hard to feel depressed. It's really hard to feel sad and anxious, and like it's almost irritating and makes you angry that you feel like that in a world that doesn't give you time to feel those things. But then, like, performing it and then producing it, like, I think it changed a lot. The post-chorus hook, Get Your Smile. Get your smile. That came in after I'd like rehearsed it with Pocky. So I'd written the rest of it without that bit, and then that bit came in and I was like, oh, okay, I think the song means more than just this. And I was like, this is a bit like more of a sarcastic, this is a bit more like, hey, I've got this. You can't tell people what to do anymore. Like, the world can't dictate whether someone is sad or happy, or, like, people get to own their feelings, kind of thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask sort of how it transformed from that angry, sad space to what it is now, because as Eamonn said, there's almost like a really charming layer of synths, and it's very, uplifting in a sense as well, like sonically. So then have it transformed, as I said, from what it was to now, and it was all just a rehearsal session, and adding that little part into the song is what really flipped it for you.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think usually anyways, like, it always grows when I start to produce it, because like I know that the song is just the song before it's like a track, and I think this is always something that I want to grow. Like, I'm never like, it has to be like this. I'm just like, this is where it is now, and let's see where it can be later. And so the fun part about producing it and putting layers and stuff is like, oh, this can be so much more than what I think it can be. And it can feel like so much so many other emotions too. So like I like things to be a bit sparkly and glittery to contrast like the really deep lyrics, and because some people really love lyrics and some people just love the sound and the vibe and the feeling that comes from listening. So I like to also focus on that separate from the actual song, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm typically melody first, and then I dive into the lyrics after that. And when you get, as you said, the good juxtaposition between both, that's when I really go, oh, like this is a song that I can stick with and listen to for a while, because I can, as opposed to enjoying the melody, but if the lyrics are a bit meh, then it's like, okay, well, I've heard the melody enough. I can, I'm getting a bit over that song on repeat or whatever the case is. But when it's got both elements to it, it tends to stay in my rotation a lot longer, because awesome. I can chop and change between what I'm focusing on and what I'm enjoying in that particular moment, depending on, as you said, maybe I need to feel a little bit angry or sarcastic about, the feelings that connect with more the lyrics compared to the feelings that might connect to the, sonically as well. So I personally, I'm a fan of that juxtaposition in music.
Yeah, it's a lovely song. As I said, if you haven't listened, check it out. There'll be a link to Gigi's music pages and socials pages in the show notes of this chat. But definitely check out that new single, Smile. And you mentioned to me before we started recording that you would like to record an EP, and like there is a vision there. However, you're waiting for a grant opportunity in order to fulfill that, because we know it's so expensive to produce a body of work. We had a great chat with Deviance, Reese from Deviance, a couple of weeks ago about this very same thing. And their approach as a band has been like, look, we're just going to do singles because it's just too crippling to record an album, even an EP, just drop single, keeps in the algorithm, keeps things flowing. So tell us a little bit about the decision to go with an EP. And obviously there's a dependence there on grant money coming through. How has that process been for you?
Yeah, it's really, so I have experience like writing grants for like research, so it's like very different. And yeah, it's been a bit of like a learning journey for that. Just trying to figure out like the right language and what they want to hear, like what is important to say and what isn't important to say, kind of thing. And then just the waiting game of, am I going to be the lucky one who gets picked for this? Yeah.
I was going to ask, what's harder, writing a grant or writing a psychology essay?
A grant.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
Yeah,
I love research and research papers, so they come a bit easier to me, I think, because there's a bit more clearer structure and
grant writing is just, what do you want to hear to this answer, as opposed to how would I answer it? It's okay, what are you looking for from this answer? And that is the whole craft behind grant writing. And there are people who literally their job is to help people submit grants. So it's a full-on different side of everything. So I'm not surprised that is, the tougher part for you. But as Eamonn said, it's almost required. And, I think it's good as well that there are grants available for songwriters to create art, but it's also the climate that we're in Australian music makes that, emerging artists like yourself, you need, you're depending on these grants to be able to afford to create art.
Yeah. And it's so cool that there are grants in the first place. But I think like having done my first 4 singles completely independently, and then for Smile, getting someone else to mix and master it, I think is really important. Like I like that I can make the song and then get someone else to work with it as well, because I think that helps elevate it a bit more from like your own bubble, and then like having the money to do that is really important. And then also trying to keep it within like the coast. I think I really want to do that, is like just supporting other local businesses or people who are also creative. I think is really good, because the coast is just such a great community for that. So if I have grants, I'll be working with more people. But if not, I'll have to stick to my home setup.
Where is his grant? Is it a state government grant? Is it a council grant? Where?
One of them is a local grant and one
Yep.
of them is a Creative Australia grant.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Well, fingers crossed and good luck on that
Thank
front. You mentioned working with a producer on Smile. Who did you work with on that track?
Owen Butterworth.
Oh, legend.
Recent guests.
Yeah.
Legend. Yeah.
He so last year sometime I was asked to like perform for the Grove Academy's assessment day, and in return I would have a studio day. So we recorded the vocals at the Grove, and then Owen mixed it for us. So like Lockie and I co-produced the song beforehand, and then we brought it in to do the vocals on a fancy mic to see if there was a difference from my Focusrite $200 one. And yeah, he mixed it, and it was really cool. I think it really changed things. Like I don't have a professional production background or anything, so I think having someone who can do things a bit more intuitively and know like what exactly to do to fix what you're trying to fix is really helpful.
Yeah, and even just to help you, you might know the feeling you're trying to convey, but maybe technically you don't know what effects need to be applied to this or what sort of sound you need to apply to translate that feeling into, the music. Where someone like Owen, who's had that experience for a long, long time, he's worked with a lot of artists. And as you said, in evolving the songs, he's someone who can certainly help you, an idea spark can sort of just change completely what the song is about. So did you, apart from maybe the obvious, was there anything that you took away from that session that you're looking to implement in future sessions?
Not really, because everything was already there.
Yep.
It was just like the vocals and then re-recording live piano instead of like my MIDI keyboard, and then getting Lockie to re-record guitar with like a certain pedal that they had there. So nothing really changed other than like the settings and the mix and the the presets and stuff like. Yeah, so I don't know at the moment. Pardon?
That back end magic.
Yeah, the back end magic, so definitely. That's exactly right. Yeah, because the way that it sounded beforehand, like I hadn't mixed it yet or anything, so it was like really, really raw. And then once Owen like did 5 seconds of magic or whatever, like in that moment, because he obviously like took ages to mix it afterwards, because it obviously takes so much time for people to do that. But like just on that day, he tweaked a couple of things or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's filled the room nicer than what it was like 5 minutes ago. So yeah, learning back end magic would be really, really good.
It is remarkable. Yeah, it is remarkable what they can do. We recently had Owen and Tom Josephs combined their Tobin music on the podcast. So if you want to catch that chat where we go into some of that, like operating in that way, then definitely check that out. But Cam, I have a really good ad segue now, because you can find Owen and Tom Tobin music working out of Sonora Studios, Jack Negro studio in Tuggerah. We have an ad for it. You're going to hear it now.
Hi, it's us. Sorry to interrupt us, but we're here with an important message from our sponsor, Sonora Studios.
Yes, go to Sonora Studios. And we will expand upon that message. Jack was really brief in what he sent us.
It was just all caps, go to Sonora.
Well, take that advice if you want. But if you are a musician or a music producer and you're looking for a space to record your work or record the work of others or work out of, we would like to highly recommend Sonora Studios in Tuggerah for you to do that. It's a fantastic space curated by Jack Negro. Very welcoming, unreal place to record out of, at least for podcasts, but we know based on all the musicians we spoke to that it's fantastic for music as well. It's got everything, a very well designed, well thought out place with some of literally the best producers in the country and some of the best bands in the country frequenting it. So do check out Sonora Studios if that is what you're looking for. We're back. Sorry, I couldn't resist that opportunity. I thought we've never had such a perfect segue into the
It was so
good.
perfect. And I'll even throw, if you do like that side of stuff, we have spoken to Jack Negro as well, who is the owner of Sonora Studios. We've spoken to him on our podcast twice in the past as well. We do really break down, what a producer does compared to an engineer and how they differ, how they cross over. We get into the weeds a little bit with Jack a couple of times there. But anyway, we've now done, in a way, 2 ads. Or 3, depending how we put it all together. But
yeah, you're welcome, guys. So we've been chatting about, so you've got an EP that you're keen to do, depending on kind of grant money coming through, which is a familiar tale for musicians, of course. It's very expensive things to do. If the grants are unsuccessful, will it be a continuation of single releasing in that kind of fashion throughout the rest of this year? Do you have plans, irrespective of what happens with those grants?
Yeah, I think just picking the songs that I love and just continue working on them myself. And then if funding comes up, then I'll be like, great, I can move this to another level, or just keep saving from gigs and then hopefully doing like one single at a time. But it definitely is more affordable to like be able to produce your own music and then get someone else to mix and master it. I think other than like starting right from the start. So that is very helpful. And I do really like having creative control over it all, because I find it really hard to explain what I want to do. Like, I'm like, this feeling or this, I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, but there's no specific like technical word that I'm saying. It's just like blah, blah, blah. And then I do it, or I make Lockie do it on the guitar or whatever. Like, he just gets my silly brain, which, I think helps doing it on your own, whereas like trying to talk to someone else who wouldn't understand your kind of silly language.
He's done a Masters of Psychology in GG's brain. That's what Lockie's got.
I'm not, I don't know why, I just can't find the right words to express like stuff in music.
It's difficult though, because you're trying to convey a feeling and an emotion and trying to translate that into a note or a sound or an effect, and it's not always easy. So to be able to outsource that, if you will, so you can focus more on the emotions or the composition or whatever, and try and get Lockie or Owen or another producer to try and shape that for you. I certainly see the benefit in that. So you mentioned to try and do a recording, or it's not really a demo, I suppose. You're trying to actually produce it to a level where it's okay, this is 90% complete, and then you're getting a producer to try and mix and master the rest. How are you doing that from home? Is it just a lot of, you said you got your $200 mic and you're singing into that, and then you're playing around in Logic or Ableton or one of the GarageBand, one of those programs, or what's your process?
Yes, I use Logic, and I have a Focusrite package. Like, it's like the headphones, the interface, and the mic that came with it. I think it's like $400. It's great, super helpful. I think they use it at the Grove actually. And then like my MIDI keyboard, and that's it. Like, and like my vocal booth is like my closet.
It works
with
perfectly.
Blankets.
Blankets are a great sound absorber.
Do you know there's like curtain rods that like you twist and they can like extend and contract? Like, I use that in between like my 2 closet doors with alpaca blankets from Ecuador. And some sound foam panels, and that's how I do it.
Soundproof.
That's cool. I have memories of recording radio stories and having to do the narration or voiceover for them, and literally just putting a doona over me like a ghost, you know, like a cheap ghost outfit, and just sitting on the ground with my mic underneath it and just recording into it, and then just like hoping I get it right before I suffocate or get too hot. So your setup sounds like actually quite solid for a home setup. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and my dog usually sneaks in and sits at my feet.
You have to. Have you ever been recorded or tempted to record a dog sound and then play with it on the MIDI keyboard and have that be sort of a little backing sound effect?
I have been tempted, but my dog is a diva, and as soon as she seriously, as soon as she sees like any content producing stuff, like a microphone, a phone, anything, it comes near her and she's just like, get that away from me. I'm not giving you anything. She's like,
Yeah, nothing for free, thank you.
yes.
Yeah, pay me in treats and maybe we can talk.
Yeah, she's not even like treat driven either. Like she knows when something's going on. She's like, you can't manipulate me.
Yep. Yeah, my old dog, she was a pat driven dog. You know, just basically affection and pat driven, and you couldn't get her to do much with food. It was almost useless for her until her old age. So, yeah, shout outs to all the dogs that have different cues out there.
You've got, you know, obviously there's a few songs in the back catalogue, more to come. Tell us about a live show. What does a Gabilóu Garnet show look like?
Yeah. So at the moment, the shows are duo format with Lockie and I. They're stripped back acoustic versions of all the stuff. But I don't know if you guys have seen my socials recently with like a band rehearsal. That's where I'm trying to go, and the band is a bit more like got a bit more of a rocky element to it. There's definitely the vibes that I'm trying to go for are there with the band. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a feeling.
So tell me then, what is pushing, because you said obviously with Smile, this single, that's sort of the direction your recorded music's heading in. We're now also in your live set seeing more of a band element. Which was the first to drive that change? Did you want to get more bandy on stage and that's driven the recording? Or did your recording follow that direction and you said maybe I should get a band involved to elevate the whole thing? Which came first?
I think they were both separate, but at the same time.
Okay.
So like I've always thought I want to do band performances because I love live music so much, and every time I see a band performance I'm like, oh my God, my life has changed. Like it's so amazing, and I just want it to feel that feeling with my own music and just elevate it more, because I think that like the produced versions of my songs obviously are a lot different to the live versions, and they have a lot more elements and things like that, and I think that having a band brings them to life a lot more. They're a bit more engaging as well, and I can just experiment and challenge myself a bit more to go a bit out of my comfort zone, I guess, which was super exciting actually, to do like a rehearsal for the first time with the full band, and I was like, yep, this is exactly what I wanted and exactly what I thought it was going to be, and it's just like super whimsy and magical to me. I was just yeah, I think, yeah, so I don't think they like kind of influence each other. It was just like I always knew I wanted to be able to get a band, but like you kind of, you know, have to establish yourself a bit and get practice and stuff, and like I hadn't performed music for a few years, so like being able to do that comfortably just in a duo format and just slowly over the last year was really helpful for me to be able to feel like I can now do a band gig and I can explore my artistry a bit more, be confident, be more performative as well.
Okay, so it was always heading in a direction, and it just so the timing worked out that both things sort of changed at the right time together.
Yeah, and I think like after Smile was done, I was like, this song would be amazing with a band, and I think that this is the perfect time to just do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, just happened to have people interested in being part of the band, and yeah, going from there.
Lovely. And how did you go about assembling your band? Because that is a question I always want to, like, you know,
Yeah.
you might have session musician connections or whatever else, but then finding the right people to be in your band who also work with one another and work with the sound that you're wanting to convey. It's a lot of things that need to align.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I put a call out on Instagram, and the bassist, Luke Mulk, I don't know how to say the rest of his last name, but that's his name on Instagram. Um, he was like, "Hey, I'd love to be on bass or guitar, whatever." But he actually knew Lockie already, because Lockie taught him guitar, like 4 years ago or something. And I was like, great, cool. I know you can obviously play, like, Lockie taught you guitar. And just because he was really keen, and I just wanted people who would enjoy themselves and who were just keen to have a bit of fun, be silly, like make friends, like that kind of thing. And then I was at a rehearsal with Lockie for Abby Yo at Matt Bracker's house, and he was playing drums, and I was like, hey, like, like, I know you seem pretty busy, but I'm like, I'm just going to ask, like, would you be interested in doing drums for me if you're not, not too busy? Fingers crossed. And he was like, I'm so busy, but I love drums and I'd love to. And I was like, great, cool. So, yeah, we rehearsed, and they're all good people, good fun, very talented. Like, I was pretty mind blown. like obviously all the musicians on the coast are so talented, but like you don't really realize until you like practice in a band, like how, I don't know, it just seems like a dream to me. Like, I'm like, you guys are just so good. Like, what? I just can't. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah, because this is something that we've also known about you for a while too. Like, we've seen you at a lot of events locally, and you're a big supporter of the local music scene. So of course you're going to put the call out for local musicians to join you on stage as you're sort of starting this journey. Like, it's something that, as I said, you're very passionate about. You're always showing up locally, and I'm glad that you could find the right group of people to show up and return that favor for you as well.
Yeah, I'm so thankful and just happy that like we have a community to support and a community to be a part of. Like, I don't know, it's just a really good feeling.
How do you reflect on the scene locally? We've obviously had quite a bit happening in the last couple of months with some venues and festivals closing and leaving, but there's also some exciting news on the way.
Yeah.
How do you reflect on our scene at the moment?
I feel really proud of the coast to be so passionate and like onto it. Like, they're just like, we have so much talent, we should foster it, and also the community wants something to look forward to as well. And I think it's just really exciting and really nice and really awesome. And there's just so many opportunities, and I wish that I had known about all of the opportunities, or maybe they weren't existent at the time when I was younger. But I'm so also just excited for young people who, are just getting started as well. I'm like, they have so many things that they can foster their creativity with, and just, have all the right support, and hopefully not have to go through hard yards like a lot of musicians usually do. Like, it's just really positive and empowering and exciting, I think. Especially, when things aren't always great in the world, it's good to see your local community just supporting everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's some great work being done, and I dare say those opportunities probably weren't as available when you were younger. Even some of the things like the grants that you mentioned before coming out of Creative Australia, that body didn't even exist, or in its music form, up until a few years ago. So it is nice to see us taking strides in that direction, both locally and then beyond as well. In terms of your upcoming band content, do you have any gigs locked in that you can foreshadow that listeners can get their way to see a Gabilóu Garnet show?
Absolutely. I can give you a date and a place, perhaps. I'm not sure when we're announcing it, but
Right now. We're announcing it right now.
yeah, let's go for it. There's going to be an all women's local lineup on the 29th of August at the Savoy.
Awesome.
And that'll be where I'll be playing a band gig for the first time. And yeah, look out.
So is this something?
Yeah.
Is this something you've put on and helped to organise, or this is something they've approached you?
No, this was, so you probably know Liza.
Yes.
She's an artist. Yep. She reached out to me and asked if I'd be part of the lineup, and I'm so thankful. She's very lovely. She's become a friend as well, and I believe she's organising it. So good on her for doing that. And so yeah, just so keen.
Love to see it. With a Savoy, on that note, we got a message from friend of the show, Dialectic, Patrick Sharples, during the week about a gig that's happening on the 31st of July. So not too long after this is released. And the Savoy are doing this kind of new scheme, he's described it as, where artists take 100% of ticket sales to support them, which is just fantastic to see. And then also the Savoy, putting on an Liza organising, but the Savoy hosting an all-female Central Coast lineup is so good to see. So some really nice things happening in the space there from venues as well. That is a very, very exciting gig. Can you name anyone else in that lineup yet, or are we leaving the rest of the announcements for the Savoy, I guess?
I might leave it just in case. Yeah. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure about that yet. So,
it's our duty to try, but we do understand.
Yeah, and I'm obviously not the organizer, so I don't want to take that away or anything. But I can say that I'm just so excited to go to Savoy again. Like, the Savoy is an awesome place, and Kev, the owner, is just an amazing champion for musicians. Like, he's just so supportive, and just everyone there is as well, with Asher being a musician as well. Like, it's great. It's a great environment. I did my first live coast gig there a year ago. Like, they gave me that opportunity when I, hadn't done that before. And yeah, I'm just so thankful, and it's just such a good vibe. Makes you feel so welcome. Yeah.
Asher was the very first guest on our podcast, as it is in the podcast form. Obviously, it was a radio show before that, but Asher was the very first guest since we changed to being a full-on podcast. So it's awesome to hear that she's still, obviously talented musician in her own right, but also, as you said, making waves and, supporting the industry in other ways as well through the Savoy. Yeah. So we've definitely got that to look forward to. EP in the works, hopefully a successful grant application as well. Yeah. Plenty of exciting stuff coming your way courtesy of GG. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug?
Yes, actually. Again, can't give too many details yet, but so I don't know if you know about the Empowering Voices mentorship at all from CCMA and Central Coast Council.
No, please do share.
So there was also a mentorship by CCMA called the Echo Mentorship. And did you hear about that one? Yep. So like this kind of came off of that as well, and it was like for women and gender diverse people on the coast to be mentored for a few months, and I was part of that with a few other amazing talented people, and we've just finished our mentorship, and we are currently planning a showcase, so that'll be around soon as well. Just need to finalize dates and things, and then we can announce it, but that's something to definitely look out for. It'll be some really amazing people on the lineup as well. Just cool. I just love the coast so much. Obviously, I'm going to say everyone's amazing, but like, it's true. Like, the coast is just so talented. Like, there's no show that you could go to where you're not going to have an amazing time and find some talented people. But look out for that.
That's what we've been saying it for nearly 8 years now. It's just the amount of talent, or 9 years. How long have we been doing this? Too long. But the amount of talent that we have here, and it's almost super frustrating because you know how much talent there is, you know how much desire there is for it in the region as well. But it's just always seems to be some sort of roadblock or red tape or something in the way from it reaching its full potential. But it does feel like certainly, we know there's a 10-year plan from CCMA. We know that they are, over the last 3, 4, 5 years, they've been implementing strategies, and the industry locally has been growing. And it's just, maybe it's just me being impatient and wanting it now. But to your point, there is so much talent and exciting, stuff here locally.
Yeah, it's definitely growing, and the council as well are definitely also getting with it all. Like they've also got like plans in development for clear structure and expectations and ways to help like local musicians and even with like fair opportunity and stuff like that. So there are movements, and it's really exciting to see that in our lifetime we're getting to see such big changes like in such little time as well. I think is really, really exciting.
Yeah, plenty to come on the local scene, plenty to come for Gabilóu Garnet. Use that name and you will find her on all of your socials as well. There'll be links in the show notes to that as well. Congratulations on the release of Smile, Gigi. We are very keen to see this new band show, everything that you've got in the works, and we're crossing all our fingers and toes for you for the successful grant applications. But regardless, we know you're going to have more great music coming our way. So great to chat, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.